I always get,
It's
is that
real,
really?
real.
Yeah, I always get, is that really how you speak? I'm like, if I was gonna make up a voice, it wouldn't be this.
Wouldn't it be
this
a
isn't the
sexier
sound I
voice?
would choose.
Yeah, it would be something like this.
Yes.
More alluring. Not like this. Who wants to talk like this? Nobody.
It would be something that was attractive, more that brought people towards me.
And not
more
repelled
than
them.
drove them away.
Welcome back to Come Fress with me. Today we're going to be fressing the ubiquitous Jewish food, chicken soup. And I've invited my darling friend Mel Jones to join Kate and myself eating soup.
Lovely to be here. When Tracy said food, I said yes.
That's why I'm doing this show.
Before we start, Kate, I want Mel to tell the story of how we met. Because
Yeah.
we've been working together since the Cape Comedy Collective days, 1999.
Tracy, she doesn't know what that is.
I don't even know what that is.
She has no idea what the Cape Comedy
Tell
Collective
me.
is. Cape Comedy Collective was a little group that used to write material together, had workshops together, would sort of critique. We had our peers critique each other, and then we'd go and do open mic shows at the Armchair Theatre. Back when the Armchair Theatre had beanbags, do you remember the beanbags?
Oh my God! No! I want to tell you, that was a petri dish. If you had ever, I mean, you sat on those beanbags at your own risk, and the queues were down the road. On a Sunday night, people would start queuing at 7:00
To see us.
Yes. And we were all together. So there I was there, and it was Mark Lottering, Kurt Schoenrath, Stuart Taylor, Conrad Koch, and Kagiso Ladiga and I did our first open mics on the same night together.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and it was like the longest. I remember that Sunday, and you guys must tell me about the first time you stood on stage. It was a Sunday, it was an all-day football tournament, and I remember running up and down the sidelines. It was like the longest 12-hour wait for 5 minutes. It was just like, I'm going to do my first 5 minutes.
And it was 5 minutes. If it wasn't 5 minutes, if it was longer, you got kicked off. They turned off your mic, they played the music. There was none of this like, I'm sorry that I went over, guys.
Yeah.
No, if you went over, you'd be shut off completely.
gosh.
And so Tracy started doing comedy, I think probably about a month or two before.
Yes, correct.
Before me. And we met at the Cape Comedy Collective workshops.
And I might add, in a little hall in Woodstock.
Oh my God.
Yes, I had to cross Adley Street. It was quite traumatic. It was.
Not only did she have to cross Adley Street, she also had to cross a park with berries in them.
Yes,
Crazy.
yes. And Mel had to walk me to my car. I'm going to get the soup while you carry on.
And I used to say to her, Tracy, they're just brown people without homes. I didn't say that to her, but I thought it would be good for the story.
It's great for the story.
So I didn't know that women weren't supposed to be doing comedy at the time, but I found out at the Cape Comedy Collective because everybody was saying how, women aren't funny, and so when I sat there trying to imagine what it would be like on stage, because comedy was not something that I even thought of doing.
Yeah.
So when I eventually wrote my 5 minutes of material, I went to go and watch them, and I was too scared to do it because that was the first time I found out that women aren't funny.
Oh, because they were all talking about it.
Because they were all talking about it.
Were
I was
there
like,
any
so now I
women?
wrote. It was just Tracy and another good woman named Melody Chevlane, who I met, I think, another week or two later. And we sat in that group of people in that workshop. We sat there. And I was too scared to do my 5 minutes of material in front of these people because I was so scared that they would be like, it's not going to work.
Thank you, Trace.
Yeah, my baby, you said you weren't feeling well.
Yeah, so
Here we go, my darling, and for you.
Thank you, Tracy. Is this what the chicken looks like? This is the chicken.
It's chicken soup.
No, what's the why are
Kneedler.
You explain.
Okay, so
why are there
kneedler.
balls in my soup?
Great question. Kneedler are like dumplings made of matza meal.
I thought Tracy talk about matza. Why would you feed this to me?
It's amazing.
Shall I eat it?
Shall
I try it?
Yes.
Okay. I'm
So you
fiddling
have
with
some
it. I'm
Passover.
going to put my spoon back down because I'm fiddling and that's rude.
Now the point is, Mel, I'm not going to force you to eat anything you don't want, but come on,
I'll try it.
It is not a lie.
Every Jewish mother is like, I'm not going to force you if you don't want. And then do you want some more? No, thank you. Here you go.
I will try it because, as you know, I've put worse things in my mouth. So we will try. We will have a go.
Yeah, and when she's talking about worse things in her mouth, babe, I've seen her eat a Gatsby.
This is good, though.
Are you enjoying it?
I am.
Because you know what?
No, you don't have to give me more. I'm fine.
No. Well, I wasn't actually going to give you more.
But now I will.
You're getting 5 minutes.
Now I will. Now we're going to put matza on
people
every
always-
lineup. We're going to promote the matza. We're going to put it on every lineup. Every lineup needs to have a matza headline.
That's amazing. There's no lineup with. I mean, so often I go to an open mic and I'm like the only woman and there's like 20 dudes.
Yeah.
And that was that the ratio?
I just want to get the camera shot on this. This is called progan. Progan is a little pie that you eat in the soup. So if you're not, so you don't just have to have chicken with knedlach. You can ignore the knedlach and so those are little chicken pies that
And
you
have
eat.
the one kleedlach and then I'll have a chicken
No,
pie.
you'll have one knedel.
Kneidel.
And
Kneidlach
knedlach
is the plural.
Correct.
So what's the plural of the
Progan.
progan? Is
progan?
a single progans.
Progans?
Progan? I don't know.
Progena. I don't know. That's not right.
Pierogi.
I was close.
Pierogi. I've heard those before. I've heard that on the Cooking on the Food Network.
How come you decided, both of you, why did you decide to do comedy?
I was married for 16 years when my husband came home one day and he said to me, I'm not happy. And I just looked at him and said, well, which dwarf are you then, dear?
I love that joke. Tracy's told that joke so often, and I hope she never stops telling it because
So good.
because it's also the truth.
But and there I was with 3 kids, and I came home. I came back from Joburg. I came back to my mother after being away for all these years, and I arrived on her doorstep with my 3 kids and my 3 suitcases. Hi, Mom, home. And she said, for how long? I said, no, I'm here. And then I think when you change and when things happen, you can curl up in a ball, or you can just get on with it. But I felt it was very important that I did something for me. I wanted to be Tracy Klass in my own right. So
Tracy Klass, me.
Me.
Yeah.
So off I went to a couple of shiurs. Those are sort of religious lessons, and where you sit and discuss like the teachings of the week. And I thought, I heard the same thing last year, because every year it's the same. You know, it's the same parasha week to week. And then there was an article in the paper with a picture of Mark Lottering. Remember, they were all in
I
that
saw
circle.
the same
Article.
article.
And it said, do you think you funny?
I saw the same
Yes.
article, and that was where they promoted the workshops. My mom saw the article, to be fair, and she was like, do you know how people always tell you you're funny?
Oh my
Read
God.
this, and then if it's something you want to do, we make a plan.
I'm going to have one of these.
I'm also going to
Because I'm actually hungry.
I also have one.
Now
of
I've got
them.
more.
Oh, you
I've
put
got
it
more,
in
I've
the
got
thing.
more. You eat it in the soup.
Okay. I think that because I was working as a first cosmetic consultant at a retail store, and then a part-time manager / supervisor at the same retail store, I was so over it. I was so over being subservient to people who were rude and mean and tactless and
also you were in the makeup department, Mel, and you had people
And
coming
there
in
were
saying, I want
some
to look
people-
like this. Well, you need a plastic surgeon,
some
darling.
people's faces could not be fixed.
No.
So I thought, let me go into something where I could make a difference.
Yes.
You walk up to me, and
But
you go,
makeup was making a difference, darling.
not enough of a difference.
obviously.
Some
Need a
people,
plastic surgery,
oh,
right.
it was just so hard. So when I heard about this, and because people had always told me, "Oh, you're so funny," since primary school, I thought, let me give it a go and see what it was like. And I think that for the first time when I did the comedy show and the 5 minutes, I got that feedback, that immediate feedback,
Yes.
that
Yes.
immediate validation, I felt so liberated and so validated. And I think that also because I'd been in so many bad relationships, it gave me something that I could be proud of that was, like Tracy said, no one else's.
Yes.
I didn't need to get permission from anyone to do this. This was my own thing. This was something. And also, and I didn't realize at the time, like I said, that women weren't supposed to be funny.
Yeah.
I felt like I didn't have a responsibility per se to prove that we were.
Yes.
But I like proving people wrong.
Yes.
I love
Yes.
proving people wrong, which is why I do DIY. Because women, that's another thing women aren't supposed
I
to
can't
do.
No, darling, it's not women, it's Jews.
Yeah.
You know, that very famous line, it's only God's sense of humour that DIY is yid spelled backwards. Okay,
that's
there is
so funny.
no, babe, you know that. But Mel's made such a valid point, because I remember, like 20 years ago, I used to open with a line as comedy's cheaper than therapy.
Yes.
You're paying to see me. I'm not paying a psychiatrist or a psychologist. I'm standing here and I'm
Yes.
talking about the fact that my husband left me and I've got 3 kids on my own. And like people, shame. I don't. Mel will understand.
This was
too.
the one connection that Tracy and I had. We were both single mothers.
Yes,
We could not. I don't think we would have met any other way. 'Cause
No.
we're so vastly different.
absolutely.
Come from different backgrounds, different religious backgrounds, different cultural backgrounds. And the one thing that sort of connected us was the fact that we're single mothers.
Okay.
And I could relate to things that she was saying as a single mother. She could relate to things that I was saying as a single mother, as a single woman.
Yes.
And I think that that's sort of where we made the connection for the first
Totally.
time.
And the fact that, I mean, people used to go, my mother's so embarrassing to my children. And mine would go, my mother talks about waxing her nunny on stage in front of 3,000 people. You want to get into a competition on whose mother's more embarrassing. You know?
True.
Nothing is more embarrassing than having a comedian as a mother.
Yeah, it must be the worst.
It must be, because you can't do anything and it'll end up on stage.
No, totally. Yes, that is true. That
It's
is true.
You
It's
can't
true.
do
You know
it.
so much more about your mom probably than you want to know.
Yeah.
And you want everybody else to know too.
Oh.
And people would come up to my son afterwards and say, "Is it true?"
Oh, I know. They always do that.
Unfortunately, yes.
But you know what I don't get? I don't know if you've ever had this, Kate, but people come up to me and go, are you really Jewish?
Oh, yeah.
Of
Yeah.
all the things you're going to pretend
I know.
to be, Jewish isn't it.
I always get, is
It's
that
real,
really,
real.
Yeah, I always get, is that really how you speak? I'm like, if I was going to make up a voice, it wouldn't be this.
Wouldn't it be
This
a
isn't the
sexier
sound I
voice?
would choose.
Yeah, it would be something like this.
Yes.
A little more alluring. Not like this. Who wants to talk like this? Nobody.
It would be something that was attractive, more that brought people towards me,
And not
more
repelled
than
them.
repelled them away. You know, that's what I would choose.
And here I sit between the two of you.
So my first open mic was also at Armchair.
How many people were there?
I'm shocked. Probably not as many.
We
as
win.
you, yeah. But I didn't know that you're not supposed to have your friends. You know that that's a scary thing.
Yes, it is.
So I invited literally all of my friends because I was so scared I'd have no audience. And so as a result, I absolutely destroyed, which probably is because all my friends were there.
Yeah.
But that's not true, because I find performing, for me, sorry,
Yeah,
Kate, for me,
now,
I find,
yeah.
don't you, and Mel, don't you
Yeah.
find performing in front of family and friends is, oh
Oh.
my God.
Because
No.
they get so worried for you.
Yes.
They
Yes.
get so They
I
don't
know.
realize that the only thing they'll be thinking is, oh my God, what if it goes wrong? Oh no,
Yeah.
they don't like her. They're
And
not
they do
focusing
it-
on.
They do it because they love you and
Yes.
they support you, but they don't realize that the flip side of that
Yeah.
is that they love and support you.
Yeah.
If they could just show it less during the comedy show
I had a friend.
and not have this reaction.
Because when you look at their faces, they're like.
No.
I had a
Hope
friend
this
almost
is
talk me
funny.
out of doing my first open mic because I went to have coffee with her before and I was like, oh, I'm really, really nervous. And she was like, I am so nervous. What if it goes terribly? What if no one laughs? What if it's going to be so embarrassing for you? And I was like, oh my God, don't say that. And then
You're supposed to hype me up.
yes,
not
she was more worried than
confirm
me.
my fears.
She was like, what if it does go badly? That's going to be so embarrassing.
No, Kate.
And I was like, you know what?
She's not your friend
Screw
anymore?
you. No, she's my best friend. That's why she said those things. But she can't shame. She really struggles to watch me do badly.
Oh, no.
Darling, we struggle for each other.
Well, I don't really feel that bad anymore when I watch comics. I understand that it's hard, but it happens so much that you'll get over it.
Well, not to me.
No,
But-
sorry, Mel. She's on her own here, lovey. I didn't have to do better.
Don't lie. So it's like ridiculous because I did one of the first big shows I did. And I was like so prepped for it. It was getting recorded, and so I was like very, I wore like a nice outfit that like I thought very much about like not too sexy, but not like sloppy, so pretty, whatever. And I walked out on stage, and I just got wolf whistled, and I watched the footage, and the entire set is just men screaming stuff at me, and not listening to anything I was saying.
It never happened to me. No one.
It happened to me.
Not once. No.
But this, I was listening to Kate have a conversation with Angel about this, and Angel was talking about how there was one pair of shoes that she's never going to wear again because she was walking on stage and some man, she went to the bar afterwards and some man said, I'm sure you were really funny, but I couldn't concentrate because all I was thinking about was how sexy you are and how I want to do you. And I was like,
No.
And then Kate was having some
Yeah, I
response
had a
to
joke
that.
I made that a guy then turned and made into like a gross way of hitting on me, and I was like, ugh, well, I'm not going to do that joke anymore.
And this is why I was saying to them, this has now become your problem. These men's toxic behavior has now been, you've taken it on as your own responsibility, and that's not something you should do. Now she's going to throw away a good pair of shoes because some man objectified her in it.
Yeah.
And now she's thrown away a good joke because some man objectified her joke. And this is not your problem.
No.
These people's reactions to your jokes, one person's reaction to your joke is not your problem. They need to check themselves. You continue doing what you're doing because you're clearly striking a nerve.
That's true. My parents are psychologists, so it's very hard to embarrass them.
How wonderful!
As a result, I have said really things on stage that I really wish I hadn't said.
Yeah.
Because things I've said on stage about sex or whatever, that then I've realized I've accidentally opened up a dialogue about this with my father, who's not uncomfortable because he's seen it all. Now I'm uncomfortable because I've initiated accidentally a conversation with my father that I really don't want to be having.
No, and on that note, oh my God, Melanie, we thought we had it tough with the kids. She's
I
going,
know. My parents don't even talk to me.
Better that way. I'm going to get some hot soup.
Oh, I'm excited about that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to get hot, fresh soup.
But seriously, about that, if you feel that's one person is uncomfortable in the audience or projecting their own negative issues onto you, that's not your problem.
How do you do that though? Ooh.
When I'm enjoying the soup, this is, I've got this joke about the soup, which is basically, when I see weather like this, I get very excited about soup, which is a clear indication that I've gotten older.
Totally.
Because when I was your age, in my 20s, when I was even younger than that, early 20s, late teens, not once did I look outside and go, it's going to rain. Oh, I want some soup. No, none of that was a concern for me. I just wanted to go out and party. I was not even interested in what am I going to eat. Sometimes I didn't even eat.
Oh.
Now, soup excites me. I'm like, oh, it's going to rain. I'm going to make a lekker pot of soup.
There's no, I'm going to go get into bed for a cuddle. No, it's not.
No, get a lekker pot of soup on the couch with my blanket.
I'll have you know that this takes me 6 hours to make.
Really?
And it
It
shows
really does.
because the flavors have developed.
Oh,
eh?
so good.
Because but I'm talking to a
Flavors
person
have developed.
and it takes hours. Because I've often had that debate with other foodie people. I can't decide whether long and slow or quick. Don't even go there.
Don't
even go there.
Talk
No,
about life. About life.
No,
How
I'm talking
life
Long
is
and slow.
Life is a marathon and not a sprint. If you want to get there quickly, you probably are, but you lose out on something
But
along
you
the
have
way.
look at all the Eastern foods. Look at the wok food. I mean, it's delicious.
Yes.
But it's instant.
Sure.
It's literally instant. It's like these huge woks. They chuck the stuff in. They flash fry.
I've had relationships like that, instant and then gone the next day. And it was also delicious. It was a delicious relationship, but it didn't last very long. What's the difference between putting the knedlach or the noodles or the...
Choice.
It's a preference.
Choice. Preference.
Okay.
Preference. And also, this was chicken progan. But progan was actually made with lung. That people used every bit of the animal that they were allowed to.
Who's lung?
Animals.
The cow.
We hope.
Sorry,
We hope.
What? No, we hope. So
I don't know. It was hard in the Schnitzel.
It was.
Jack the Ripper made his progan with lung.
This is a special recipe passed down.
Yeah.
From Jack the Ripper.
So they used to they would even do things like something called helzel is the stuffed neck of the chicken. You know, I mean,
I like chicken nickies. Yeah. As we say on the Cape, like chicken nickies. You have to say it like that. You can't be posh.
So yeah, my late Baba, my grandmother used to make me chicken soup. So her chicken soup is the chicken soup I know. And
which was?
It was
Clear.
Yeah, it was like a clear brothy soup. And so this is the thing when you Jewish, like your mom or your gran, whoever made your soup, you are then loyal to that chicken soup because everyone makes it differently.
So you're cheating on your gran with this?
I am.
But I want to ask,
my gran.
how are my knedels by comparison?
Your knedels are amazing.
Because there are some knedels that you can bowl from the duck pond end. Okay.
Yeah. Fluffy. These are the good fluffy knedels.
When you stick the spoon in and then it shoots out the plate across the table, normally into somebody. Those were like the school Seder knedels.
The knedel that can put your eye out.
Correct.
Yeah. And my gran used to, every time I was a little bit sick, she'd make me chicken soup, and because it's called Jewish penicillin.
Okay.
Because it's supposed to be instead of antibiotics.
And you know why? Because I've been reading up about this.
Yes.
They've done research on it. So when I make the chicken soup, I do it with a whole chicken, okay, for 4 hours.
And you use schmaltz.
No, there's schmaltz already in the chicken because the natural schmaltz of...
Do you want to explain to people what schmaltz is? Because I know from schmaltz.
Like
this is schmaltz, but it's there. So she knows from schmaltz. She's often seen me go, tuck the schmaltz in behind so we can't see it roll over the top of the jeans.
I know.
That's schmaltz.
I know from schmaltz.
So apparently, like the nutrients in the gelatine and the bones of the chicken, as well as the vitamins from the vegetables, the carrots, the celery, the onions, they all combine, and then all the nutrients are together. And they've done research.
And because you're not draining or straining anything, it just sort of cooks in there, and all the nutrients stay in there.
And seriously, like the other day, I really wasn't feeling well, and I just I've always got chicken soup in the freezer.
So good.
Oh gosh, it's a leech.
I'm not feeling good. Please, can I have some soup? I know you always have in the freezer. Can I just take some?
Just take some, babe. Shame. Thanks. I hope you feel better, my darling.
Thanks, Mom.
Hi, Amy.
Hi, Amy. She's taking our soup.
Darling, she's always... This is what... You always have chicken soup. It's like a farmer discount should have chicken soup. They should have a fridge of chicken soup. So, girls, I really thank you so much for joining me today. And it's just soup, but there's so many wonderful things that one can have with soup. And to my darling friend Mel,
it's never just soup. It's a conversation and a hug.
A hug.
I know from a hug. Conversation and a hug.
Sorry. A hug is like a skinner. It's not a skinner.
A skinner.
No. What's a hug?
A hug is like a catch up.
Yes.
A communication.
No, but what would you say? It's not a skinner because that's Loshen Hora.
But also people, I think, feel that skinner's a bad thing.
It is,
because you're not just there. But if we're having
we're having like a catch up, and we're also educating our kids about chicken soup and
comedy. And the things you didn't have to do that we had to do. You're welcome.
Thank you.
And all of this over a bowl of delicious soup with knedlach. Who would have thought?
Thank you so much for joining us today. And I really hope you enjoyed our company as much as we enjoyed hugging with each other.
And the food. Thank you, Tracy.
And Mel, to another 20 years. And to the next episode of Come Fress with Me. Thank you.
We fressed.
Full.